That didn't click loud enough. I'm not satisfied.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then you can clip the noise over the and then clip out the.
Yeah. I've noticed that in recent episodes where it clicks in the middle, but you can't really hear it because it's not near anyone's mic. So
Yeah.
So, good evening. Welcome to another episode of AusTableTalk. My name is Luke, and I am at the table with Steve and Kristen.
Hello.
I am so glad you're back with us. Like, it has been months.
Long time no see.
I know, right?
It's good to be back.
Mm-hmm. What's been keeping you?
School mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That tends to be.
Edumacation.
Yeah, the little edumacation, the little piece of paper I'm chasing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's my last year. Finished my last exam. Yay.
Ooh, congratulations.
I was pretty ecstatic.
Yeah.
Like I forgot how good it felt to finish.
Mm-hmm. And actually
like,
not be a uni student. It's like for a minute, like it's not like your entire consuming focus.
I love holidays.
Yeah.
I think it's an addiction. Yeah. I just work really hard and then I have nothing to do. It's the best. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was the first thing you did that was like, entering back into the I don't have anything to do phase of life?
Ooh. Ironically, it was after I finished my first shift at a new job. Because so I had my last exam on Tuesday and that ended around noon-ish. And then I went to the beach with my friends and that was supposed to be relaxing. But in the back of my mind, I was stressing about starting a new job. So that wasn't fully relaxing in itself.
Right.
But then once that was done and I felt comfortable with it, I'm like, oh, now I can do anything I want. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, I forgot what your original question was, but that's my answer.
I just said what was the first thing that you did with that?
With my freedom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Kind of answered it. You went to the beach.
Yeah, I did go to the beach.
And
then worked.
And then worked.
And then worked.
Like a uni student.
Yeah.
Right. A very broke uni student.
Yeah.
Then I watched Ocean's 11 with Christian.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Good taste.
That's been out for a long time.
Fun.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Yeah, that's good.
Then you got 12 and 13 to look forward to.
So what about you, Steve? What's been happening in the world of Steve?
Give us the deep dive.
Yeah, not crazy amounts. Work's been extra busy. Manager's out, so we've all stepped up a bit, which is good, but also not good. My list is very long, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you showed me a photo of
my list.
your list for the week.
Oh.
Yeah, before that was.
You sound like a man that deals with stress pretty well.
I just suppress it.
Oh,
And then I also very much just, I don't know, I'm very good at going, that's at work. Well, I do stress a little bit. Like if a client calls me on a day off or something, I'm like, answer it and deal with it. But
you compartmentalize pretty well.
Yeah, I always try and I'm like, that can wait till Monday. See ya. And if they call up, I'll help them with it. But yeah, it's like,
nice.
different problems.
Yeah.
Cool.
I find that once I'm working, it's very hard to stop. And once I stop working, it's very hard to start.
Yeah, you've mentioned.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Huh.
No. So I have a question. So one thing I think is interesting, we talked about, generally what direction we wanted to go with this conversation, and career was the thing that we picked on. And the reason we picked on it actually is because you guys, the audience, you answered a survey that we had some time ago, and we were just going back over some of the responses to that survey. And career is one of the main areas of your life that you wanted to hear more content about. And so we decided that we were going to do precisely that. So this is the topic, and I think it's interesting that you guys just both shared things about work
stuff.
Yeah.
It's topical, man.
It is topical. But I'm curious though, what is the very first thing that you wanted to be when you were growing up?
Steve, you go first.
Oh, no.
Actually, can we get you to go first?
Yeah, go, Luke.
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
For me, it's actually very clear. There were two clear things. The first one, like chronologically, the first one is that I had just learned about who Thomas Edison was and what he did.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to be an inventor. Like I'm going to be the next Thomas Edison. So that was
Nice.
That was the thing. I spent lots of time as a kid like drawing ideas for robots and all of that kind of thing. That was definitely.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I love it when kids are creative and they feel like they have that freedom.
Yeah, I know. Eventually I got to an age where I was like, that's not so realistic. So I substituted that idea with owning my own cafe. That's what I wanted to do from the age of like 10 through 15, 16. So
that's a big switch up from robots to cafe. What appealed to you about cafe?
In hindsight, I don't think I would have articulated it this way then, but in hindsight, it was the idea of creating a space in which other people could exist and a space in which I could set the culture, and that excited me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
No.
And the funny thing is that I kind of did that. So not that I created a cafe, but now I have a business where we do innovative things for a living, and I have created a team where I can set the culture. And so I did both of the things that I wanted to do.
Nice.
So.
That makes me so happy.
Makes me so happy.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Let's go. Steve's turn.
My turn.
Steve.
Yeah. The first thing I can remember was probably like year 1 or year 2. I wanted to be a vet. I spent like every lunchtime catching bugs.
Nice.
Did you try to heal them?
No, did not.
You're the cool bug kid. I love that.
Yeah.
The cool bug. Not the cool bug kid.
Okay, the not so cool bug kid.
I was the not so cool bug kid.
I thought not cool people were cool.
Yeah.
Because I also was not cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yes, I can definitely resonate with the inventing thing too, though. Like Lego. I'm sorry. Was that not the...
No, it's fine. It had nothing to do with you. I was just like, yeah, you said I was also one of the not cool people. And I was like thinking about that for a second, like, how do I respond to this moment? And because I thought to myself, I never thought of myself as being cool or not cool. And then I realized I was homeschooled. I was an only child. So I was literally both.
Cool. Yeah. You were Schrodinger's cat. You just didn't know.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
So realistically, I was definitely the uncool kid, but I never knew. No one told me. So I just was just me. So,
Yeah. I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail that, Steve. So yes,
No.
vet, cool bug kid. Yes.
Legos.
Lego.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say that similar to you, though, I enjoyed building things and making things work. So I did also want to invent things. So yeah, good times.
I feel like realistically, you just have a natural ability to, there's a specific word for that kind of intelligence, right? The ability to make something in the real world, and you've carried that through into whatever you've done. I've seen yeah the things that you make are so well thought out. I can see that still now.
Do you have much creative freedom in your job? I wouldn't think so.
We're not really making things as surveyors.
Measuring things, but not making them.
Yeah. The most creative I get is scratching the OCD itch to make sure everything rounds like the nearest meter or something. If I'm making a new boundary, I'm like, I made it like to the nearest meter or like the nearest 100 mil. I'm like, woo!
I felt that satisfaction in my bones.
It just annoys me. The town planner's design is just like squiggly line and there's mills everywhere. I'm like, why is this 3 mil? Why isn't it 5? Like, guys, like change the angle by 15 seconds and it's a minute. Like, anyway.
That's brilliant.
That's all right.
We've got a decimal system for a reason. Let's try to keep to those tens, people.
Anyway, that's all right. It's a
stuff.
burden I carry. You're all welcome.
Yep. That's fair. But you do, you find that creative outlet in, creating things for the profession though, right? Like, you've been working on your app idea and your,
been
you've
3D
been
printing
into
stuff for a
3D
while.
printing stuff. Yeah.
Ooh, fun.
Good times. What about you, Kristen?
Yeah. So I was told I was a gifted kid from a very young age. And I think that does something to your brain. So you're like, I want to be in STEM. I am apparently a genius, so I'm going to grow up and be a genius. Something like that.
Yep.
So I remember being very academically oriented as a kid. So other kids wanted to be soccer geniuses. I'm like, I was told I'd be a good scientist. Maybe that. So yeah, I remember, I don't remember having a specific thing in mind. Maybe I did. Obviously I grew up with a medical background with mum, etc. So that was always kind of in the back of my head. But I always had lots of different interests. But I remember not entertaining any of them very long and just being like, it'd be cool if I did this. It'd be cool if I did that. I remember I was walking in the grass once. I was with mum and I was just so fascinated by the plants. And I'm like, this is incredible. And then I turned to mum and I said, Mum, what if I become a botanist? And I was so excited. And she gave me this look. And she's like, and And that's the day I realized that my dreams didn't matter. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, wow. That got dark so quickly.
I didn't know how to end that joke. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean it for
I think you ended it. You ended it with the dreams of a lot of the people listening.
No. I just, So I always liked a lot of different things. I tossed up a couple of ideas as a kid. Didn't really settle on one. And then the more I grew up, the more people oriented I realized I was. And so choosing to be a doctor at that point in life just seemed very natural.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to say that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why this is funny, and it's getting funnier because you're
giving me looks and I don't know how to interpret them.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I was just thinking, I was lost in the thoughts, so you don't have to read too deeply into it. Got it. So interesting. So I'm curious from both of your perspectives, then, based on the paths that you have walked. How did you approach God's role in that? Was it something that you were like, I'm just picking what I like, or did you consult God, or was it unclear, or did you just feel like you could just do anything?
That's a fantastic question. Steve.
Does it deserve a fantastic answer?
Will it get a fantastic answer?
Who knows?
Yeah, no, that is a good question. I don't know. I'm very much along for the ride in some regards.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily the best. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing all the time, but I don't know. And yeah, I guess from being a kid, I was always told that, mum and dad had seen, God's leading in different things. And I'm like, that's cool. So I don't know. I guess I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I left school. I thought I wanted to be an engineer. I don't remember if I got a high enough OP. I think I did. But by that point, basically I was like, well, I don't know what I want to do because there's a million possibilities. And mum and dad were like, and we had a friend who was a surveyor, and they said, we think you'd be good at this. And I said, okay. So I went and did some work experience, didn't hate it. So I enrolled.
That's so simple. It's like, I didn't hate it, so that's it.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. And to be honest, I didn't even know what a surveyor was really.
Yeah.
I knew they measured things, and I was like, well, it's outside and it's maths, so that suits me fine.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 year into uni, and I actually struggled the first year of uni until I got a job, and then I could start putting my education into, well, at least talk to people who are actually doing the job. So that was really handy. But yeah, my process wasn't overly conflicted or overly grandiose. It was just, and I think that's one of the paths in like one of the lessons we can draw from that is like when Abraham chose Isaac for or Rebecca for Isaac's wife, like, trusting your parents to, and I'm not saying that they always have the right answer, but they're also the people who know you the best and should care about you the most. So, they're a good starting point if you're a bit stuck, because they also have way more life experience, so they might be able to point you in a good direction or a good starting point anyway.
Yeah.
So that would be my 2 cents worth.
Interesting. I think one of the things that I find challenging about where, how God fits into the picture is that, I think I do remember praying, not so much when I was little, but like as I started to, go through my teens and figure out what I was going to do. I do remember praying, oh, God, what do you want me to do? But the only time that I remember that being like a really heavy thing was when I was 16 and I got a job in a cafe. And at that point, I still thought, hey, this is what I want to do with my life. And I was not prepared for the fact that I hated I hate it. And so like I had built up all of this like momentum, like psychological momentum in the direction of owning a cafe. I went and did it, and I thought this, God's setting me up for this. And I had spoken to, like, I had gone to the extent of I had gone and interviewed cafe owners and asked them, like, how did you get into it? What did you do with this? Like, and so I had sort of been around it. I thought about it a lot. Anyway, I got a job, and in hindsight, sure, it was, a really bad workplace, right? So it wasn't so much that
okay,
you
so
know,
that's what you hated.
yeah, well, I didn't enjoy the work, but also, yeah, I was like at the bottom rung of the ladder in a company that had just been bought out and half the staff had left. And so it was like, yeah, it was everything
You
going
get
on at
jaded
once.
after that.
Yeah, right. Anyway, and I could tell stories, but anyway, the point was I really didn't like that experience. And so when that finished up, I came at the other end of that thinking, well, I definitely don't want that. I definitely don't want to go into this industry. But now I have no idea what I want to do at all.
Yeah.
And I was, like 16, and I was like, nope, I don't even have a sense of would I want to study anything else, because I don't even I didn't have a backup plan. That was just it. That was what I wanted to do.
Hey?
Yeah, it was. And so my first thought was, well, I just need to do something, to get money. So I'll start doing that. And so I got a job working at an electronics place, which is, I enjoyed computers and stuff. And so I worked a bit on that and did a bit here and there. And I just started finding things that I enjoyed doing. And funny enough, in an online community, it was a very, very small, super niche community. I've talked about it before. Speed Labs, it was called. And it was, here is the level of niche. It was focused purely on optical storage, so CDs and DVDs. The whole forum was devoted to the pursuit of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, doesn't it sound exciting? But because all of the people that were on there are STEM types, right? Like that's the kind of people that were there. There was no creatives in that room, right? And so when they were making jokes, I would be the guy that went and made the memes because I was the creative one. And so I don't know what I became in this community, but I started to feel like a really specific...
The jester.
Yeah, I was. I was the jester of the community. And I loved doing that. And at the end of that process, I was like, I actually really like this design thing. And so that was when I started going down the path of graphic design. And then eventually I shifted out of that and into web and sort of, off that. But there was like a probably 2.5 year window where I was just completely like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and trying to, God, tell me what I should do, and God saying a lot of nothing. And, eventually I was just looking at the gifts that he gave me, and it was like, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Let's follow the pattern. So
I've heard you recommend that before. Look at your gifts. I hear a lot of people say that, especially in the church.
Smart people.
Yeah. No, my experience is interesting. Like, I started going down the path of a doctor, and mostly because things just fell into place very easily. And so part of you always wants to feel like, oh, this is God making it easy for me, which can and can't be true. So by the time I was in grade 10, like the new program had started, and that offered me an opportunity to become a doctor without leaving my hometown and just making it insanely easy to have this extremely prestigious job. And I've been told my whole life that I'd be great at it. So I was like, oh, okay, let's do this. And it was kind of locked in for me at that point. But the spiritual part kind of kicks in when this is less so which career, but direction of career. When I was trying to figure out which university to go to, that gave me so much stress. Because I'm like, Lord, where do you want me to go? And I got, like, Christian perfectionism. You always want to do the exact right thing, the exact thing that God wants me to do, and I don't want to mess it up and whatnot. So I kind of fell a bit prey to that. So what I ended up doing is a few things. First of all, I made a pros cons list, and I'm like, what do I like about this one? What do I like about that one? And I've got more to say about that later, but I'll put a pin in that. But as well as that, like, I'd done small fasts before. Like, I'd give up chocolate for a week and that kind of stuff, or I'd give up my device for a couple hours or for a whole week or something like that. Like, I'd fasted that way before, but never properly with food. So I decided to give that a go, and I fasted for like half a day. And... it's actually, no, don't knock it till you've tried it. Like, half day fasts, I actually find can be extremely intimate with God, personally. Yeah, because he doesn't care about big flamboyant displays.
No.
He cares about the heart.
Absolutely.
So when I did that, that was my first time, and I remember like sitting down in the backyard and just being like, God, where do you want me? Please. And just sitting, and it was very peaceful and quiet in my mind. And the clearest thing I can remember him saying is that I will be with you wherever you go. And that was clear as day to me. And he didn't give me an answer. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's how I approached my experience spiritually. Just the pursuit of God. And he told me something that was very in character of him. He's like, he tried to shift my focus away from where am I going to go, who am I going to be, and back onto him, which I find he's done that for me so many times. And so I'm like, oh, yep, this is God. He's telling me that I need to trust him. It doesn't really matter where I go as long as I'm in him. So I'm like, okay, I have a bit more peace. I'm a bit less anxious. I'm going to just try and make the most logical choice with the brain you gave me. So I made a pros and cons list, and I got it. I did my ATAR. I didn't do as great as I thought I needed to go, but apparently that was okay. Sat through a bunch of tests, and I ended up in not my top pick, which was away from Bundaberg. And that sent me into some more stress. I'm like, Lord, what do you mean I have to move? This is crazy. But then I became at peace with that, and because I trusted him through it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's right. You told me you'd be with me wherever I go, so this must be okay. And then that changed, and then I was coming back to Bundy, but by that time I had my heart set like on Rockhampton, and I'm like, Lord, what is this? And then it's like, oh, that's right. You told me you'd be with me wherever I go. So he sent me for a trip there. But yeah, in terms of...
Do you feel like that was... Did that like have a spiritual impact? Like if you didn't have to go through that phase, how do you perceive your experience would have been different?
Oh.
Or your personal development would have been different?
Yeah. So at that time, I handled it really badly. And like the time I'm going through currently, which I did a very similar thing, and I can see myself then, myself now, and contrast how much God has built me over the years. Because I've done the same thing for like my big decisions now. And back then, I just got angry at everyone. I got so annoyed. I'm like, oh, this isn't right. This isn't working. And I just got really irritable. And I'm not proud of it. But that's how I handled it, because plans were changing, and they're changing quick. And I didn't know how to deal with that at the time. But now, like, it's a story in itself how I've gone through this year trying to deal with where I want to go. And there's so much humility I didn't realize he taught me. And that became really evident as I was trying to figure out where to go. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to spiel.
No, it's interesting, because I think, especially for people that are listening who are still figuring out where they're supposed to go, I think hearing stories like that is super encouraging.
Yeah, I think I did it better the second time around, which was this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I won't wax eloquent too much.
No, it's fine. It's fine. And you don't have to, go deeply into any of the parts that you don't want to. But you used an interesting word there. You said that you felt like you were like your humility was stronger or deeper. I'm just curious, like how does that show up? Because like in the sense of making these life decisions, that's not the first quality that would have come to my mind. And so I'm curious how that affected your experience or your decisions.
That's a really thoughtful question. So humility definitely came up as the biggest thing I learnt from my doing that process again, essentially. And that looked like me having dreams again, me idealizing a future, and then God breaking that down.
Right.
And then me being like, oh, okay, so I should dream about this other thing. And then I'd idealize that as well. And then God would break that down as well. And then it just came to the point where I was like, okay, Lord, I get it now. It doesn't matter where I go. It matters about you. Like, it really doesn't matter. And I'm supposed to be pursuing you. I'm not supposed to be pursuing a future, because you have my future. And because in the pursuit of those things, you kind of get obsessed with the end product. You're not seeking God. You're seeking future security. So that was a lesson he taught me. So just breaking down my ego over and over and over. Oh, he's great. I love him.
And I think what you're also describing is the paradox of gifted children as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're built up in this idea of, oh, I can do anything, and I'm intrinsically, qualified, but before God, none of us are, and that's very hard to accept.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You've been very quiet, Steve. What's been running around in your mind?
Oh, I'm just listening.
Yeah, I didn't give him any threads to jump into conversation with that one.
No, it's fine.
Questions.
I also recognize that I was sort of like, drilling the questions and sort of
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, no, I think that is, I'm always encouraged by hearing stories that are, still in progress as well. Like, I mean, you've alluded to the fact that you're going through this process a second time. And I would say, based on my experience, it won't be the last time. It'll look different. Okay. It'll look different next time.
That's good to know. Yeah. Honestly, I can see that. Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, it's fine. But I guess what I'm saying is that you're still trusting, even though you haven't got to the end, and you're like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with Dave earlier this week, because Dave, who spent many years on this podcast, he and I work together now, and we were talking about our business and how things are going, and we're really searching for that stability, that so we can come into this next chapter, and I said to him, if you were to like hit rewind 5 years and we were to be able to say, in 5 years time, you guys are going to be in business doing this, how would you have perceived that? And I said, would it have looked like success? And he said, like outrageous success, like in the sense that, he said at that point, what did he say? At that point, he hadn't even started studying to become an engineer. And he's like, so in that intervening 5 years, I've become an engineer, like worked in the field, started working, on this business, and now we're doing all these things, and the business has grown, and all of these interesting things have happened. He said, I would not have even believed that we were kind of capable of doing this, but it would have looked very different what it actually is, because really you can do a lot of things, but you're never done. You always have to learn the next thing and have that humility for the next time round, the next batch of lessons. And that's, it's been very much true of our experience. We thought this year would be like, 2025, we're going to crack it. We're going to figure this out. It's going to be great. And we've done some interesting things, but what we've really done is amass a lot of opportunity, but we haven't actually been able to like capitalize on that opportunity. And so it's discouraging in some ways, but it's been that process of God saying, no, just trust me. Give me that little bit more time. You need to learn just that little bit more waiting. And, there's no easy way to wait.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
It's painful, isn't it? It's so easy to talk about it afterwards. You'd be like, oh yeah, I waited.
Yes.
It sucked, right?
Yeah.
And then like it viscerally sucked. Like,
I remember like
soul hurts.
Looking in the rearview mirror. Like I remember when it was before I was married, so it would have been my early 20s. I had been trying to like do freelance web design, and I was like, I'm not making any money, like, and I'm, just, still living with mum and dad. So it was fortunate I didn't have to, make rent, or whatever. I had the safety net, but I was like, I can't figure this out. I'm like, God, if you want me to do something different, like I need a sign. And so I'm going to lay out a fleece, and I had a specific number that I needed to make. And I'm like, okay, God, I need to book this much work before, X date. And I'm like, and that was more than I had ever done in that amount of time before. I'm like, this is when it's going to be. I'm like, okay. And so I started to, just pray, move ahead. And it happened like clockwork. And I'm like, okay, God. Yeah. So thank you. Like now it's happened. This is what you want me to do. I'll keep doing. And the work dried up again. And I'm like, okay. So all I now know is that you want me to keep doing it. not that things are actually going to get better. Okay, fair call. Wow, great. So, in hindsight, I can see why he did it like that. But at the time, it's very frustrating.
Question: would you recommend to most people to set out a fleece like that? we might need to clarify what fleece is
Yeah.
for the audience as well.
Okay, so the concept of a fleece comes from the story of Gideon in the book of Judges, and the idea is that when Gideon was trying to decide whether he should go with the Israelites to go and fight the Midianites, he wanted a sign from God to show that God was going to deliver them, that they were going to win. And so he laid out a fleece of wool and said, okay, God, my sign that I want is that I want the fleece in the morning. The fleece is wet, but the ground around it is dry. And so he goes to bed, comes back, and it is so in the morning. And then he's like, okay, God, I want to be really sure. So let's let's do this again. But we're going to invert the fleece. We're going to not invert the fleece, invert the test. And we're going to say tomorrow it needs to be the other way. The fleece needs to be dry. The ground needs to be wet. And so it goes away, comes back next day. And there you go. He got exactly the sign that he wanted. God even gave him a little extra sign on top of that, in that they snuck into the Midianite camp and heard that they had a dream that they were going to get destroyed by Gideon and the Israelites, and they went on to win. So that is the idea of a fleece. The idea is that you put a situation out in place that gives you a binary outcome based on God's will.
An external illogical sign.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. Yeah, I have strong thoughts on this, so I'm gonna talk last.
I have thoughts.
Oh, Steve.
I have minor thoughts.
Please go.
No, so the fleece was the second sign.
Was it the dream the first sign? I got mixed up.
An angel spawned in.
Oh, right.
And said, "What's up, dude? You're doing this." And then he had to go get food, and then it got consumed with fire. Like, I don't know. I like to think that if an angel spawned in and told me to do something, that I'd just be like, yes, sir. It's happened. And I know that Israel was going through a pretty rough time, and they were dealing with idolatry and a whole bunch of other stuff. But the fleece wasn't it shouldn't have been necessary. It obviously it was for Gideon, but it was never the intention. So I don't know. I don't think that it's a sin necessarily and I know that makes it sound bad, but I don't think that it's doubting God or sinful necessarily to ask for a sign like that.
But ideally we'd be in a place.
If God has been clear to you in what he wants you doing, then it shouldn't be necessary.
Nice.
And I know that that's not the case for most of us. I haven't had a clear calling to something specific that I'm aware of anyway.
Yeah, I've got a story with that, but Luke, you go first.
Oh, why am I going first? You go first.
You said you had thoughts.
I do have thoughts.
Yeah.
But you just said you did.
No, you answer your question first.
So I have a problem with people misusing the idea of a fleece or looking for a sign. And the reason for that is that often often is a strong word. I have seen people that I know and I care about organize a fleece in a way to bend the outcome. Because it's if you're picking something that is, biased, then what is the purpose of that? All you're trying to do then is put words in God's mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I actually am of the opinion that it's really difficult to think of a fleece that doesn't have some kind of bias in it.
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, Gideon is the case in point that obviously God does validate via those methods. And I'm not saying that if you've done this, that it wasn't God speaking. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it is I think it's a slippery slope for human intervention. And so, I'm just very wary of it. And so whilst I did that then, it's not something I'm in the practice of doing usually, unless there's some really specific reason for me to do it. Why is it that that's a little bit nerve wracking when I finish a statement like that and Steve picks up his Bible and glares at me as he starts turning pages? I'm like, wow.
You made me think. That's all right, Christian, you go on because I'll be a minute or three trying to find this.
Okay, 3 minutes, Gully.
Monologue.
Oh, let me get my train of thought back.
Choo-choo.
I'm not sure if that helped.
Yeah, thanks, Luke.
Let's say it did. Let's say
You're
it
welcome.
did. Choo-choo, back on the thought train. Okay. So Steve was talking about doubt. You're talking about fleece and how like it's circumstantial. Yep. So first of all, I had a couple of thoughts, not thoughts, but like it reminded me of my experiences as Steve was talking about. Technically, he shouldn't have needed the fleece. And I think that is true. But also, we should know ourselves that we're not in our ideal place. And I was very much at a point of I don't have the type of character that wouldn't beg for another fleece. Like I would be that. And okay, so backtracking, let's tell the story. So all of a sudden, for some reason, God gave me a strong impression that, hey, it would be a great idea to go to Arise. And I'm like, huh? This is out of nowhere. That's pretty crazy. And then like...
That's a training program, right?
Yes. Okay. To clarify, actually, maybe Steve, can you... Or am I interrupting your train of thought?
No.
As an Arise alumnus, what is...
What is Arise?
Arise.
It's a 3-month Bible course that integrates evangelism and lots of classroom time. It's a great time to put, like, I stopped uni for a semester. Anyway, that's the explanations about me. Yeah, so basically go down to Kingscliff. They run programs similarly, I think, at Avondale now. But anyway, they've got a few programs, but ostensibly Kingscliff, you go there for 3.5 months. You live there with potentially random people if you don't have friends there that you already know, which is great. You get to make new friends. It's quite an intensive program in that you're up fairly early, worship, like you eat together, breakfast and lunch. Lots of classroom time and then lots of door knocking. It's a Bible program that's designed to kind of fast track you into evangelism and things like that. So
yeah. So that was the opportunity that came up for me. Thanks for the summary. Appreciate it. But yeah, that was a shock to the system. And then the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, hey, this actually makes sense. Like this is very plausible. And then guess what I did? I did a half-day fast. Wow.
We're seeing a theme. This is a recurring thing.
It's totally a theme. It was kind of my fleece, if I want to put it in those terms.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I was thinking about like how if I would tell the story, which I am now, how I'd tell this, but this is my failing point that I didn't journal or write it down. But all I can remember was that I felt sure of it by the end of that. And yeah, so I was like, okay, yep, this is where God wants me to go. It's crazy, but apparently it is. And then a couple days later, I'm like, is that true? Was that right? So then guess what I did again? I did another half-day fast. And by the end of it, like my doubt was gone again. Like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, this is great. I know where I'm going and I'm going to start planning for it. And so those were my fleeces. And that was the small of it. Like that was my tiny doubts. And then part of the process of me wanting to make that decision, I ended up talking to lots of people. This is one thing that I didn't do in the first round of big decisions back in high school. I was very isolated back then and I was making all my decisions myself. But this time I was like, multitude of counselors. Yes. Everyone, please tell me what to do. That was what I wanted to do. I'm like, please tell me what to do. So I talked to some people and part of me was really naive and really hopeful that they'd tell me, oh, you're doing an amazing thing. You should totally pursue it. And then I talked to them and I was completely broken down. Like they just pointed out all the flaws in my thinking, all like the things I wasn't considering, all the things I'd be sacrificing. And that hit me like a truck. I was like, God, surely that's not right. Like I had such high hopes for this conversation. I was expecting to be uplifted and encouraged, not being told that I was being foolish and I'd be remembered for being foolish. So I was like, yeah, it was big. And I was like, okay, that put me into like a point of a little bit of despair. I was like, okay, Lord, I want to do this logically and wisely because I believe that's what you want for all of us. So I sat with that for a bit, and then I talked to another friend who I also made recently. She's also a GP. And they weren't as intense in their delivery, but also highlighting the aspects that I hadn't thought about and things that I should. And I was like, okay, golly, Lord, you must not want me to do this. And so that was the first time I kind of sacrificed that dream. I'm like, okay, Lord, if you don't want me to go, like, look, I'm free. Like, if you don't want me to go, I'm not going to go anywhere you don't want me to go. So I let go of that completely. And I'm like, okay. But I had a list of a couple more people to talk to. So I had more conversations with different people who had different experiences, and they told me different things, lo and behold. And those ones were the encouraging ones. And so I came to the point, and this is more of an advice thing to anyone who's trying to figure out where to go in life. You can ask people what they think you should do, and you will always get their opinions, but their opinions don't dictate what you should do. Because one of the reasons I wanted to become a doctor was because I had a path set out for me. It was so easy. I just did this for this year. I did that for that year. If I didn't know what to do, I could just copy what someone else did. And everything else felt so uncertain. So I think my whole life I've just spent waiting for people to tell me what the right thing was to do and do that and not be wrong. So I tore down that idea with this process. I'm like, okay, I'm
That's
not
some
going
intense self-work going on right there. Yeah, wow.
And this went on for like a couple months. This was only a few months ago.
I was about to say, like, date us. Like, how far ago are we talking right
This
now?
was, oh golly, it's on my calendar. Like it was, maybe it's not on my calendar.
But not long, anyway.
Yeah. Maybe like July, August-ish. Yeah. I was going through this process. Yeah. And the one big takeaway I came back from that with was that the only thing I can learn from is their experiences and how much I know them. So what I did, I'm completely sidetracking now. I'm just telling a story. Sorry.
That's
I'm not
fine.
answering any questions. I think I've taken longer than 3 minutes. Sorry, Steve.
You're good.
That's letting him craft a master plan.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know.
Absolutely.
Certainly not.
No. He is. He totally is. So what I realized was that, okay, instead of waiting for them to tell me what to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at their lives or what I think of their lives, their values or what I can perceive of their values and how they live their lives and see if any of that aligns with my ideals. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me to do this thing, but I don't like this about how you've crafted your life. Like that wouldn't be my priority. And then doing that for all of these. And I'm like, okay, I've got to go back to what I want to do and what I've been blessed with. Almost similar to you. Like you looked at what gifts you had. So for me, I went back to my roots and I'm like, what drives me? And I realized that I'm very community focused. I'm energized by people and I want to pour into people in that way. So I'm like, okay, I've got to go somewhere. Yeah, it's the best.
Yes.
I love it so much. So I realized, okay, that's what I want to be building my life around. And from that, I looked at, okay, so what path aligns with that best? Where can I serve people? Where can I build myself to serve people most? And apart from that, I was like, okay, what do I want my life to look like 10 years from now? And am I on that trajectory? And I realized I'm not. I'm like, okay, I'm not building.
Wow,
Right?
that's heavy.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so I'm not building the life I want. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. So there's got to be a change. So I was like, okay, Lord, you're bringing me on this little thought journey. So this seems like the most logical thing, but I don't want to move unless you tell me to move. So that took a bit of waiting. And I kept praying for a bit longer. I didn't fast again. I could have. Yeah. But this is part of why I'm convinced that he told me yes to go to Arise and not to stay here. I came to the point and I was like, Lord, I really, really, really want peace, and I really, really, really want your face. Can you show me where to go? And yep, I was convinced that I needed to go to Rise because before he gave me the peace, he told me to repent. And I'm like, that's such a God thing to do. Because if it was me, I would have just picked whatever my heart desired. But he's like, no, you need to amend this, and you've not been good in this, and I need you to repent. And I'm like, okay. And so I did. And then after that, because before that I couldn't physically say, I'm going to Arise. But then after that, I'm like, I could make out the words.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's follow what seems to be the most logical path and what seems to be the path I have peace with. And there it was.
Yeah.
And you'd think that'd be fine, but then I started doubting again. And then I'm like, Lord, what's this doubt in my chest? And then he gave me like a little, I wouldn't call it a vision, but like a bit of imagery that kind of showed me, oh, this doubt's not from you. Like that's actually trying to discourage me. But yeah, I won't go too much into detail on that. I can, but I've been blabbing.
No, that's fine. Now, you mentioned that a lot of the people that you sought counsel from were not supportive of the idea.
Oh, half of them were, half of them weren't.
Yeah.
I elaborated on those who weren't.
Yeah, no, that's fine. The question that I had just in regards to that is like, when you finally made your decision, like I imagine it would have been difficult to to say that in front of those people, like to be like you said, like it was hard to say, you know, yeah, I'm going to go to Arise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that like, were you just like, okay, no, I've made the decision now, and like I'm just, you know, I'm concrete in this, or was that a whole other thing?
That's great. Yeah, no, I like that because that's a real question, and no, I wasn't confident at first. And I think I needed to go through that process to reveal to me how much of an idol other people's opinions were. If that wasn't obvious enough. So, yeah, people would ask me, oh, have you decided? And I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm being led to go to Arise, you know, and just not owning it because I was afraid of, oh, they'll think I'm really foolish. They'll think I'm not doing the right thing. But then, yeah, like that went away quick after more time with God. And yeah.
I'll guarantee you those people, as regardless of, you know, they could be wonderful people, but regardless of who they are, they were not the ones that were petitioning God and fasting and praying and doing all of the due diligence that you did. So own it. That's
you betcha.
awesome.
Now I'm owning it.
Now you're there, right? Yeah.
One of the people I addressed first early on was I'd met him recently, and like I didn't know him too well. He would have been one of my lecturers, and he was on the side of, he was very logical, and at the time, like I had really bad intentions, and he identified that, and I think that's why it cut me so close to the core, because I'm like, oh golly, like he sees right through me. And like by now, like my motives have changed after that time with God. But he texted me like the other day and he's like, hey, I'm really curious. Have you decided to go or not? Like, will I be seeing you next year? And I'm like, I'd been dreading him asking that question for a while. I'm like, oh golly, how will I explain to him even after like we both decided it was a really bad idea? But no, I was able to own it. I'm like, yep, I've decided you won't be seeing me next year. And thanks for the conversation we had. It really like tore down my ego and helped me to see. And like from then, like my heart's changed a bit. But I really appreciate our conversation. Yeah. So yeah, that was the biggest one, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I just want to say thank you for sharing all of that, because it's one thing to share something that happened years ago that you don't feel like you have to identify with, but when it's something that literally like has been going over the last few months and like right up to your current experience, like that's a hard thing to do on a mic. So
it's funny because this year God's been doing so much work on me this year. It's been pretty crazy. But like you'll remember me last year, I wasn't talking into a mic at all. But when he gives you a story to tell or a message to give, like he gives you that power. And he's given me a lot of learning and talking opportunities. And I'm here sharing stuff without stuttering. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What?
Amazing.
Yeah.
That growth
God's
is
good.
huge.
Yeah.
Yes. Very cool.
Yeah.
Did you find what you were looking for, Steve?
Sorry,
I feel like
Steve.
we've been a lot of places since then, but
Yeah,
I'm curious to come back to it though.
Yes.
Oh,
Fleece and doubt.
I don't think I have too much to add. I think, testimony is good.
I agree. I agree.
Always.
I thought, and again, not that I really have anything to add to that, but I thought I'd just read that passage out of Proverbs where it says, "Where there is no counsel, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety."
Yeah.
And I think it was interesting, like, when you ask advice of people, especially the people who genuinely care about you, they only have your good intentions at heart. So even if their feedback isn't necessarily what you want to hear, there's always going to be elements of truth in it. But I think the point here is like the multitude, because if you're stuck in your bubble and you're only asking the people who, it's kind of like the fleece that Luke was talking about. Like if you're only asking for biased fleeces, you're only going to get biased answers. And if you're only if you only ask the people in your circle who you know will agree with you, then that's not a multitude of counselors. Like you might be asking a lot of people, but that's not a multitude of counselors. Like you need to ask, like, and it sounds like from, that GP that you asked and the lecturer that you asked, they disagreed with you, but they would be able to give you insight. Like I imagine the doctor who's actually done the path would be able to say, this is how it's going to impact you if you do it this way. And the lecturer the same, like they'll be able to give you perspective that you don't have and that you can't have, and that you may still disagree with them, but at least you've got the information to make a wise decision.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I also think it's interesting, and again, not a critique at all, but I think it's interesting I don't know.
No, go ahead.
Envious, because I don't feel like I've been convicted of things, like as in like I think I've felt the Holy Spirit like present for sure. I don't think I've ever been called to something. And again, this is from that perspective, having not experienced that.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting having that experience twice, but then still being unsure, and that's not a criticism, but I just find human nature so interesting. And we see it in the story of Gideon, right? Like, dude saw an angel, he's still like, I'm still not sure. like, oh, dude.
So true.
So I want wet wool. Like, okay, because that's more convincing than an angel.
That's crazy.
Oh, anyway, yeah.
That's a crazy testament to God's character too, right?
How patient he is, hey?
Right? Ridiculously, like I don't get it. Like I shouldn't be where I am right now.
Yeah. Well, even think about Abraham when when he's talking to God about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, and he's like, well, but what if we could find? I can't remember what he starts with. 30 people, 50 people, 100 people.
Yeah.
So what if we could find 100? And God's like, sweet, sure, yeah, no, okay. Well, what about 50? Oh, what about 20? What about And like he keeps going.
Abraham, okay, sure, 20.
Yeah,
let's do 20.
Yeah, exactly, right. And so God is so willing to work with our own foibles, There are so many times that I know where I've been like, this is what I'm going to do, and in hindsight, I can look back at those moments and be like, that was stupid. Like, that was really, really dumb.
Yeah.
But at the time, God didn't beat me over the head. He was like, okay, Luke, all right, you do that, buddy. Like, no problem. I'll be here when you get back.
Yeah.
No.
And
I think this is one of the key things to understanding how God leads, because if we understand God to be leading by directives, like telling everybody, you do this first, then you do that, give like you wanted, right? The step-by-step path. Here's the plan, Steve. Do this. But that's just not the way he works. And I think possibly the primary reasons that he doesn't work like that is because he understands that in order for us to grow, I've used this illustration on the podcast before. When you have children, you don't want them to be 35 and still needing you to tell them what to do. The whole objective of having children is to grow them up, to help them mature, to help them be good decision makers. And so when they are, in their adult life, they can make good decisions without you. And I don't think God's any different. I don't think he wants to have us on remote control for the rest of our lives. I think he wants to have us wrestle with him and learn the way he thinks and the way he feels and how to be like him, so that then we'll make those decisions ourselves, you know. And so I think his objective is to, yes, of course he wants to guide us and he'll give us as much information as we need to do that. But that's why I don't think he gives us the plan. You know, here's the step-by-step, you know. You have to wrestle. Interesting. So is there any extra or final directions or questions you guys would like to explore before we wrap up? Or not, if you
could pick on.
Yeah.
But I'll let you guys.
That's right. Pick on something. We'll go one more place.
No. We'll be okay.
I like it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun, this episode. I feel like this is a good piece of divergence from like the trend of the episodes that we've been doing recently. So this is, you know, a bit more in our Christian experience rather than a direct Bible study. And so it's been refreshing. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Luke.
So anyway, let's leave it there. Thank you for joining us for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, share it with a friend. And we would love to hear how you've landed in your career. If you have a moment to share, jump on any of our social media channels or into our Discord server, any of the above. We would love to.
Discord.
Yeah, I know. It's very quiet in there. Come in and make it louder. But yeah, we would love to hear your story, how God led you to where you are. And if you don't know the answer to yours yet, we would love to hear that. Like, you know, let's hear the path that you've been on. So anyway, we'll leave it there. You guys have an awesome week and we'll see you next week. God bless.
Bye. Hello, future Kristen.